Uneasy Homecoming by Will F. Jenkins. Summary of Uneasy Homecoming. Uneasy Homecoming centers on Connie, who returns home after a 2-week holiday only to be engulfed by a deep sense of dread. From the moment she steps into her house, an unsettling feeling looms over her, despite the seemingly normal surroundings. As she explores her home, Connie's unease intensifies when F. Safety, leaving readers to ponder the fine line between comfort and peril in familiar spaces. Question answers of Uneasy Homecoming. Question 1. Where was Connie's house located? Would you call it a lonely house? Answer. Connie's house is situated on a secluded neck of land, beyond most of the houses in her town, which contributes to the sense of isolation. The fact that it's the only house on that side of the bay emphasizes its loneliness. This isolation enhances Connie's feelings of dread and unease upon her return, as she is cut off from the immediate presence of neighbors and the familiar hustle of the community. The setting plays a crucial role in amplifying the tension throughout the story. Question 2. The first sentence of the story tells us about Connie's unease. What factors contribute to her sense of dread? Answer. Connie's sense of dread is shaped by several factors. Firstly, she experiences an inexplicable feeling of anxiety during her taxi ride home, which she struggles to dismiss. Upon arrival, the quietness of her home and the absence of familiar sounds heighten her apprehension. Additionally, she learns about a series of burglaries in the area, including a violent incident involving Mr. Field, which compounds her fears. The combination of her isolation, the darkening environment, and the unsettling news she receives all contribute to her growing sense of dread as she senses something is amiss in her home. Question 3. When she arrives home, what is that Connie feels as she looks around? Answer. When Connie arrives home, she initially feels a mix of relief and unease as she surveys her surroundings. Everything appears normal at first, her house looks neat and welcoming, and the garden is sweet-smelling. However, her sense of anxiety grows as she notices the silence and feels an unsettling conviction that something is not right. Despite the outward normalcy, she experiences a vague restlessness, leading her to be increasingly aware of her surroundings and the oppressive quiet, which amplifies her feelings of dread and isolation. Question 4. What were the things that Connie failed to notice when she went round the house and the garden? Answer. Connie failed to notice several key details that contributed to her sense of unease. She overlooked the motorcycle hidden by the garage, which signified the presence of an intruder. Additionally, she did not recognize the broken pantry window or the muddy floor inside, indicating recent activity in her house. When she looked around the garden, she missed subtle signs of neglect that hinted at something amiss. Her focus on dismissing her feelings of dread prevented her from observing these crucial clues, allowing the tension to build as she returned home. Question 5. What is the first thing that Connie does? How does she react to the noises? Answer. The first thing Connie does upon arriving home is to try to reassure herself that everything is fine, despite her growing unease. As she moves around the house, she turns on the refrigerator and the water, attempting to normalize her surroundings. However, her anxiety escalates as she begins to hear noises that heighten her sense of fear. Each sound makes her more aware of her vulnerability, leading her to feel the need to be quiet and still, even as she rationalizes that there is no real danger. This internal conflict amplifies the tension and dread she feels throughout her exploration of the house. Question 6. What dreadful news does Mrs. Winston convey Connie? Answer. Mrs. Winston conveys to Connie the dreadful news about a series of burglaries that have taken place in their town while Connie was on holiday. She mentions that several houses, including the Hamiltons and the Blairs, were robbed, and highlights a particularly alarming incident where an elderly cashier, Mr. Field, was brutally attacked by burglars. This news heightens Connie's fear, especially since she realizes she is home alone and that the intruders might be linked to the crimes happening in her neighborhood. Question 7. What does Connie discover in her bedroom? Answer. In her bedroom, Connie discovers a bag filled with stolen items, including cameras, jewelry, and other valuables that she recognizes as belonging to her neighbors who had been robbed. This revelation indicates that her house had been used as a hiding place for the loot from the burglaries while she was away. The realization intensifies her fear, as she understands that the burglars may know she is back and could pose a threat to her safety. Question 8. How was the motorcycle useful for Connie? What did the burglar do when he saw the motorcycle in flames? Answer. The motorcycle was useful for Connie as it provided a means for her to create a distraction and escape from the burglar. When she found the motorcycle, she realized she could set it on fire, which would draw attention and potentially alert others to her predicament. When the burglar saw the motorcycle in flames, he panicked and rushed towards the fire, trying to extinguish it. However, he quickly realized that it was futile, as the flames would reveal his presence and the stolen loot in the house, jeopardizing his escape. This chaotic moment served as both a distraction for Connie and a crucial turning point in the story, allowing her to evade danger.